Game Beard.
I'm Dave, and this is the first build video for Junk Runners Skirmish. Be sure to check out gamebeard.com to get your files. You just download them. Then watch this video and you can build along. Also, at the end of the video, I have a short explanation on all the different tools I use to build the stuff. And I have the trailer. So, have fun. Here you can see a printout of the crab loader, and it's very similar to the mule. In fact, the build is the same. It's just that the mule's just a little longer, and it has 6 legs instead of 4. The first thing you want to do is you want to cut out all your parts and keep them accessible. So here, I'm going to move this out of the way. So here are my parts that are cut out. When you cut out your parts, let's see here. Here's kind of the main body shape. You want to cut it out. Here are some tabs. You definitely do want to cut on this edge right here. So you'll cut right here. Same over here. It's just this line right here you'll cut. So we have that cut out. Here's the top, right? So I'll cut out the general shape, and then what I'll do is I'll go back in with an X-Acto blade and I will trim the excess. And it's more convenient to cut these down first into manageable pieces and then to cut them away. So here's I left a piece I'm going to show you, so I'll trim that. And then here are my other parts. I only have one leg. I'll keep that handy. And then here's the head and some other parts, but I'm going to scoot them out of the way. Now, as I mentioned, I trim them out with the scissors first. I just use just a regular good scissors, right? And then when I trim away these extra bits, I use an X-Acto blade or something like it. Now, I highly recommend a number 2. A number 2, because the number 1 X-Acto blade, it's too thin, not heavy enough, and it's just too delicate. So number 2, I mean, whatever works for you, right? But number 2 is what I use. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this extra piece here. I could use a straight edge, but these parts are doable with just carefully doing it by hand without a straight edge. So I'm gonna cut these parts. Obviously, I would have all kinds of little extra, white parts to cut away. I just left the one. So there. So I got it. So number two works pretty good. So I got it. So I have all my piece completely cut out. Let's start with the leg first, though. So you're going to make 4 legs. I'm only going to show you one, right? Because they're all the same. So I cut out my leg first. Now I still have some trim parts I need to cut away. I need to trim away this piece right here, and then I need to make a trim mark here and here. So I have a more delicate scissors or a smaller scissors. This is a Tamiya. It's kind of nice. So I'm going to trim, but any scissors will do as long as it works, right? So I'm going to trim this piece. It separates these 2 tabs. Then I'm going to cut right here. And then finally, I do need to trim this little line right here. So I'm going to trim that with my hobby scissors, and then over here too, just to this line. Okay, so this leg piece is ready to be folded. So I'm going to use a straight edge at the edge of my table. Let's see, it looks like you can see that. So these are delicate little parts, and so it's easier to use the edge of my my straight edge on taped to the edge of my table. Let's see, I'm going to fold right here first. I'm going to fold down. So I folded here. Then I need to fold this piece right here. So okay, let's do it. Line it up as best I can. And then I'm going to fold it here. So it's folded. Okay, great. I'm going to do the other side. Same thing. Okay, got it. So let's see here. So I folded those corners. I didn't totally fold them like all the way. They're mostly folded. Now I got to fold these white tabs. So the ones on the left and the right are straightforward. Let's see. But then the one in the middle, the tab in the middle, is at a slight angle. So I have to, you have to tilt it just right. It's difficult to see because those other tabs are in the way of your straight edge, but let's see if I can get it. You may not, yeah, see I didn't get it perfectly. So I'm just gonna adjust my shape and then try again. Let's see, I think I got it. Well, okay. So I'm gonna do it by hand a little bit. There, I got it. Okay, so I got all these shapes done. Okay, let's see here. So usually I pre-fold, or I kind of get those folds in place. So let's see here. So I kind of folded them all. I folded these edges. Remember, it's trimmed right to that corner. I trimmed my tabs. Now it's ready to go. Boy, these tiny parts. I'm going to add glue to this tab. I'm going to fold it under, and then and then put this piece on top. But it's going to be tiny. I think you might be able to see it. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue. I use Elmer's glue, right? It works great. Let's see. Apologies if this is out of focus. So you don't need that much. Let's see. There we go. Got a little bit. Okay, got a little bit. Sometimes if you need to smear it around, I just use the orange tip of the Elmer's glue to the nozzle to like smooth it out. Okay, I got it. So I'm gonna hold it upside down. I'm gonna kind of move those in, move the top tab down. I'm gonna put it on my mat board. Oh. I can use my stick to push in that tab. It looks good, and then I'm gonna hold it down. Let's see if you can see that. So that top tab is on top. It didn't see how I meant to push it in, but you know what? I can just trim that off, and I shall. Okay. Okay, so I got it. Now what I want to do is usually I do all four of these, and like I'll glue this part first on all four, and then they kind of dry, and then I go in and glue this part. So I would probably glue, if I were you, I would glue that part on all four legs. Then I go in and I add a little glue right here. Ooh, that was too much. And you don't need that. You don't need that much. A little bit here. I'm looking at this tiny little preview screen, so it appears it's hard to tell if it's in focus. So if it's not, maybe I'll make it. I don't know. Anyways, okay, here we go. So I have glue right here on that tab, and then let's see if I can do this. It's probably gonna be off. So I'm gonna push it in. So I pushed it in. It kind of stops, and then let's see. Oh, please be in focus. I'm gonna use my stick, and I'm gonna hold that tab in, and then on the other side too. Let's see. Can you see it? Let's see. Hold it down. Okay. Gotta hold it for a little bit. Let's see. Okay. Now there's going to be a kneecap part, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue on top, a little bit of Elmer's. I'm going to kind of spread it around. I don't want to get too much of this stuff. I'm going to get my other piece here. Oh my gosh, I show it to you. These tiny little parts. So there it is. I trimmed it, right? I'll have four of these, right? And then when I glue it, when you glue it, you're gonna let's see, I'm going to put it on and I'll try to, don't fall on my hands. Okay. So you want it to be, there's 3 rows of bolts, and the last bolt is kind of hanging off the knee. So let's see here. And you want to position it. In this particular camo design, there's that stripe. So try to line it up as best you can. That looks pretty good. Got it. Okay. Got it. This is my... Looks good? Okay. So I have already done all 4 of my legs. So that's what I would recommend. Let's see. Let me grab these guys. Right? So you'll do all 4. The legs are the least interesting part to do, right? But, I don't know, listen to a podcast, listen to some music or something, audiobook, and you just kind of put these things together. You know, put a bunch of legs together and you put them off to the side. And then you glue them all on. Okay, next step is, let's do the body shape. And so here it is, I cut it out. Let me tell you one more thing. Usually, you know, there's a dash line here. But I trim, like, you don't want that point very much. Like, I trim away that point a little bit, so that way when you're folding it underneath, it fits a little better. So let's see here. This focus, this usually focuses. So I'm going to trim I trimmed a little bit more of that, and I'll do it over here too. After you make a cup, let's see, just a little bit, just a hair. Actually, it's more than a hair, so let's see. You can kind of see it. Trimmed it off, so it doesn't go to an exact point. Why? Well, you'll see. It's not an exact fold. Okay, where do I begin? Let's see. I usually do this tab. So I position it on the edge of my table with my ruler, and then I just press down. So I'm going to get that. So I got that nice fold. Then I usually try to do this guy, this little tab. This is a strange tab to do. So I usually have my extra straight edge, and you know, you want to line it up. It's hard because I can only see this edge, right, of that ruler. So I'm going to position that the best I can, and then I'm just going to push it down. Let's see, did I get it? Not that great. So I'm going to try it again. That's better. Just kind of want to fold it over. Not bad. Let's see. And then you can always, once you get that initial fold, you can try to adjust it a little better. Usually that's okay. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to get it just right for the video. While I'm at it, I'm just going to do this other side. So again, I position it on the tip of my other straight edge, my metal ruler. Let's see. Usually there's a black line, and you want that to be like folded over with the white tab. That way you're less likely to have like a white. Let's see if I can do this one. Yeah, that one's a little better. Okay, so there, let's see. Is that going to focus? Yeah, so not bad. So there's my tab. Okay, great. And then I'm going to fold this guy. Again, I lined it up down here. Let's see, I'm going to fold that. Oh, I didn't even fold this. Okay, I was just folding my tabs. There's still an edge here. There's still an edge, so I got to fold that. Let's see, line this up as best I can. Now, folding this body wedge is, for the most part, pretty much identical to the mule. This is the crab. It's a little smaller. It's 4 legs. The mule has 6 legs, and so it's the same thing. So I'm not going to show you how to fold the body wedge of the mule. It's identical. It's just a little longer. Okay, so I got this stuff. It's kind of coming into shape here. Let's see here. Good. I got to do the back. Let's see. you know, I do the tab first. So I'm going to do the tab. You know, and if you find a different process, like, it's all good. Like, I don't care how you make your papercraft models, as long as it works and as long as you're happy. I just don't want you to be frustrated. This is just the way I do it. Now I got these little triangle tabs, and they're a little trickier. So I do use my extra ruler, and I'm going to position it. Let's see. Again, I want that black line to be over the edge, and then I'm going to push it over. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. That was a good one. Got it. And then I'll do this one. Let's see. You know, maybe take your time on your first one, and then once you get the hang of it, you can be a little more speedy, like how I'm trying to be, trying not to take forever. Okay, now I got two folds. I got a fold here, and I have a fold here. So I'm going to fold this one first. It's there's like a black line right there. So let's see. This will be underneath. Oh, it's right here. I think you can see that. Okay, I'm going to fold this. I don't totally fold it all the way. Okay, and then finally I got this one. And you're not going to fold this all the way either. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't the perfect fold. Okay, so you can see I've got all the folds in position. So I got them all. Looks not bad, not bad. You can kind of test fit it, like, and you can see, oh, okay, I see how it's gonna happen. Let's see, you know, and then you're gonna have like this wedge, this body wedge shape. Okay, well, where do I begin? Like I said, you could do it however you like. I usually glue these guys in place. So again, try not to use too much glue. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here, and then I'm going to spread it around. I usually do one of these at a time. So then I'm going to push it in, and let's see, let me get it. I'm going to hold it, I'm pinching it behind, pinching it, holding it. I'm going to add a little bit of glue over here, little Elmer's, or whatever kind of glue you use. I'm going to spread this around. Elmer's works pretty good. I experimented with like stronger glues, like wood glue and stuff like that. It's really not necessary. I mean, you can't beat, Elmer's is inexpensive, so any kind of inexpensive and decent white glue is great. Okay, so I got those glued in. Usually takes a little bit to get those. I got it. I'm going to try to maybe fold these in. These are going to go in a little bit at an angle. Now I usually do these triangle tabs so that I can kind of get the rear panel, you know, into position. Then and the last step is I usually fold over and glue. So let's see. I got a little bit of glue here. Spread it around. Put that out of view. Again, I have a finger behind, and I'm pinching it so I'm holding it into position. Okay, so then I'm going to add a little bit over here, a little bit of glue on the other tab. Okay, got it. Same thing. I'm going to ooh. Got it. Okay, now so now I'm good to go. I want to kind of position my tabs inside, maybe bend them a little better, kind of getting them ready. This is the bottom, right? The bottom tab. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna match. It's gonna match pretty good. Let's see. Do I have a little extra? Sometimes you get a little extra there. You can trim that off if you do get it. When I glue, you know, it's strongest near the edge, right? So that's where, because like this will kind of push down a little. So I try to get my glue, you know, along that edge. Let's see. Got it. Got it. And then I spread it around with the orange tip of my glue. All right. Okay. Now, here's where I'm going to fold it over. So I'm folding this over, and then sometimes you have to kind of press in on the sides. You want to press in the front. You really want it to look good. I'm actually going to put it down on my table. I'm going to hold it down. Let's see, hold it down from the front. Yeah, this looks good. Now let's see. Let's see, can I get this closer? Let's see, focus. So you can see I have a little bit of white edge here. You could probably just leave that if you want, or if you have hobby scissors like me, you just trim away that extra. Let's see. Sometimes this works. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, that worked out okay. So, you know, you might trim that a little. You're really not going to see that. I mean, technically, you could probably paint that too, but, you know, enjoy your game. Don't be too particular, right? Okay, so I got this as the body shape, the body wedge. Okay, now I need to fold. This is going to be the top. This is going to go on top, right? But I have to prepare this piece before I can glue it on to the body. Okay, so here we go. So this is the top of our loader, you know, drone. And the first thing I want to do is I want to fold this piece. This piece folds underneath. So there's a line here that I want to fold. So I'm going to put it on my edge of my table. I'm going to fold it under. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm kind of folding that. So I'm folding that, and I'm going to glue this. So I'm going to glue this underneath. Okay. So I'm going to add some glue. Whenever I add glue, I always try to add a little bit of glue in the crease. Maybe not all the way, but most of the way maybe. Add a little bit of glue in there. I just put a little bit of glue. I don't know if you're going to see this. You don't want to add too much glue. But then, and I usually spread it around. You know, you'll discover if you're using it's probably better to err on maybe not enough glue. And then if things start falling apart, add more glue. But if you use too much glue, I don't know, you'll see pretty quick. Okay, that you don't want to do that much. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over. You want to try to match it as best you can. It doesn't always match 100%. So I'm going to hold this down. Let's see, I'm going to press down. Now, technically you could use, sometimes I use like a flat edge to just kind of press down. And so that might help keep that down. I'm going to kind of use pressure. And sometimes though when you do this, it kind of flakes off the ink. It depends on your print. So let's see, but this, I think my print was pretty good. So there, I glued it over. Let's see. Oh, I actually got it. I got it pretty good. Sometimes if you have a little bit of white, like if it kind of, if you get a little white edge, you just trim it off. You just kind of trim it off, right? Okay, so that worked out pretty good. That's kind of nice. Now, let's see. Do I have a finished one handy? No, I got my, well, let me show you. So on our, focus, I have a tab. I have a tab right here that kind of lifts up. And you can kind of see underneath it. So that's what we're going to do. The other ones fold down. Oh, and this tab in the back, that kind of lifts up. This is a mule, of course. It's a little bigger, but it's the same principle. Okay, so I want to fold. I want to fold this piece down. I want to fold that piece down, and then this will be. I'll do these tabs first. So I'm going to go over here. Let's see. I want the black line to be included in the fold there. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to include that black line in the fold. You know, I mean, if you get a little black line, it's okay. So here you can see. So I'm going to fold that in, and I'm going to glue these. I'm going to put a dab of glue on each side. I usually do these together at the same time. Spread it around a little. Okay. Then I'm going to carefully push that over and hold it. It's going to look like that, but I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to hold this one down, and usually you can just pinch these and just hold them. You're like, what are you doing? Well, you can't see it because my thumbs are in the way, but they're right here. So I'm going to hold those down. Not bad. That doesn't take too long. Okay. So I got these tabs folded over. Those were in the center. Okay, so I fold it over. Now I've got this thing in the back. This thing's kind of beastly. So let's see. I got the white tab, that's going to fold down, and then I got a crease in the middle, that's going to fold down. But then the final tab, this one, it actually bends up. Okay, let's try it. So I'm going to go to the edge of my table. I'm going to fold. I'm going to try to include that black line in the fold. Usually that looks a little nicer. Okay, I'm going to fold that down. Okay, nice. Then I'm going to fold along this line, the center. You'll see. Okay, let me see if I can show you. Focus. So much light on that. Curious if it's blowing it out. Okay, well, we got it. Now for this final edge, I need to bend it up. So here, this is why you need this extra ruler, right? So I'm going to position it right here on that black line, and then I'm going to push up on that. I don't know if I can get a better angle. I'm kind of pushing up on that. Got it. So that final one, I kind of pushed up, and then these you can kind of test it. Like you're like, oh, okay, like this white tab is going to fold over and glue, and then those are going to glue together, and it's going to be a nice little back armor tab that keeps your cargo from falling off the back of your loader. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Let's see, I can add it on these tabs. So let's see, I'm going to add a little bit in the middle. Let's see, a little bit in the middle. It's probably hard to see. And then a little bit on this back tab, kind of smeared around. Okay, and then I'm going to just fold it over. I'm going to pinch this white tab on the back. I'm going to kind of pinch it and actually it'd probably be good just to put it on the table. So I'm going to press down where that white tab is underneath. I'm going to kind of pinch these two pieces together and kind of hold them up as best I can. Let's see, it's not too bad. Pinch this. Let's see if you can get a better angle. Yeah, there you can kind of see it, I think. So it's at like an angle, looks kind of nice. There. Okay, not bad. Now, these final armor plates are going to bend down. So these back ones are easy. Here, I'll do those first. So let's see, I'm going to bend, and there's a black line, right? So let's see, I'm going to bend that down. And then I'm going to bend the other one down. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to bend this one down too. So this is in the back. And then I'll show you what they look like. These aren't so bad. You just want to be careful. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's look at this thing. Focus. So here you can see this one bent down, and then this one kind of bent down. This one is going to bend up a little, right? We'll do that. In fact, I guess we'll just do that. We'll do that last. We'll bend these up last. Now, right here, gosh, let me point to it. This edge right here, it's a very thin corner. That's going to bend down. Not the whole piece, not here, but here, right here on this diagonal. Okay, so let me show you that. It's a little tricky. So again, I position it on the edge. I'm going to bend it down. Let's see here. I'm going to do the other side just to show you. I'll show you together. Oh, that one wasn't as good. Okay, let's see here. So just that. It's like right here. And then over here too. Let's see. There. It's just that triangle shape. It's just that little part. And then of course this whole edge is going to bend down. So I'm doing it. Here, I'll show you again. It's pretty important. Let's see. This line. That whole line is going to bend down, so I'm going to do it. Okay. Now, that was kind of an extreme bend. It'll probably end up being more like that. So you can see why this little triangle, it bends, but then it stops right before that forward bend down. So not bad, not bad, we got it. Here, while we're at it, I'm gonna bend these up. Let's see. Again, I'm gonna use my ruler, get it right, and then I'm just gonna bend, let's see if we can see this. Let's see if I can get a good angle. Not really. I'm gonna bend this up. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that, yeah. So I bent it up, and then I'm gonna flip it over, do this other side. This is the center armor tab. Okay, got it. So that's kind of nice, gives it a little bit of easy three-dimensionality, looks good. Okay, now, this is good, this is pretty much done, but there's one more thing we can do. Let me show you an example here. Here, I got my, here's my mule version. So these tabs actually lift, these front tabs. They are separate, and now, this is essential if you're gonna add lift claws. The lift claws connect to this moving piece, and you can kind of position your lift claws in a backward position. If you're just going to load like a weapon platform onto your loader, then you don't really need to cut these out. But they do look nice if you cut them out anyways. If you're not sure you're going to put lift claws or a autocannon or something on it, then I would just cut them anyways, and they don't look too bad. If it bothers you, you could always glue them back down, like if you know you're not going to use lift claws. Or you can just leave them, and it looks kind of cool. If that doesn't bother you, that they're slightly lifted up. I don't know. It's up to you. But anyways, let's cut it. So here I'm going to go. I'm going to show you. Let's see. Are we in focus? So it's right here. There's a line. I'm going to cut right there. And then over here, let's see. So there's going to be three panels total in this front. Okay, I got it. Let's see here. Right? But, let's see, this is going to be hard to see. There's a little edge here that I'm going to cut off. So it's a little bit of a corner. I'm going to cut off this corner. Let's see. So let's see, can you see it? Okay, I'm going to cut off this. You'll see, there's a line there. There's a line there, and then I'm going to cut off this. So let's see. So it looks like that. So that's the tab. Okay, nice, not bad. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue this thing on. So this is just basically the top armor. Here is my wedge, and I'm going to glue it on. Now you can kind of test it out before you glue. Like you can look, oh yeah, it's going to pretty much fit. You want to center it. Let's see. Usually, let's see. This front armor plate. It's going to hang over a little bit. That's fine. That looks good. Actually, I like it like that. So when we glue it, I'm going to add glue to this thing. So let's see. I usually add it. Well, definitely add it in the corners. I add a little bit in the middle, just a little bit, and then I actually add a little bit here too. Not on the decorated art, but like kind of in the white spot. And I kind of spread it around so it's not just globby. Okay, I don't know. That feels pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. All right. You could probably start by gluing it underneath. Let's see. You can kind of get these back positioned, like, let's see, lined up. Looks pretty good. Believe it or not, it dries kind of quick. So let's see. You want to make sure it feels pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, like sometimes you might want to nudge it, but you want to hold down the front. Like hold down the front and the top. Like I'm using multiple fingers to kind of hold it down, but it'll dry pretty. So there it is. I need the eye piece. So here's my pieces for the eye. There they are. So I have one with a number, that's like kind of the armor plate. Obviously I'm gonna fold, on this white edge and that white edge. So there's two folds on this. You probably already figured it out, which is fine by me. Okay, and then I'm gonna fold over here. Okay. Okay, so I got it. Might be slightly out of focus. Okay, so for this, let's see here. Focus. I'm going to fold right on this line. It's like a triangle. Right on there. And then right on here a little bit too. So there's like 3 main lines. Okay. So I'll fold it, then I'll show you. Okay. Okay. So let me show you. Now, I'm not going to glue these parts down, but because it's difficult, right? And it's a lot of extra work. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glue to this top. So this is like the top here, and I'm going to glue it into my armor plate. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. Let's see. The question is where? Where do you glue it? Well, to be honest, it doesn't 100% matter, but let's see. I'll show you about where I've been doing it. You know, it's up to you. No, actually, it's up to me, but I don't care if you do it slightly different. Let's see. Okay. So it's positioned. Let me get my. Boy, I mean, that's pretty far away. I'm going to press it down with my little tool. Did I get straight? I actually got straight. Sometimes I don't even glue this in there very straight. Okay, let's see. It's about that distance. So, I don't know. The angle, it's so hard to see. The angle of the armor is before, a little bit before this flat piece, but whatever. Eventually this is going to be at a slight angle. Let's see if I can even show you. It's going to be like, this is going to be tilted in at an inner angle, and then yeah, and then like, so I'll add glue here. Only glue on this piece and the bottom of the eye. So I'll just do that right now. I don't glue the sides, and don't worry about that because it's such a fiddly tiny little piece. I mean, I highly don't recommend that you, because I don't glue it. It's not meant to be glued, but I mean technically, I don't know, like you don't want it. It's supposed to be at an angle. Okay, I got glue there. Now, here we go. Okay. So let's see here. Focused. Okay, so you want to center this piece. There's a line there, so it's going to center to the top. Ooh, I wasn't center. That feels pretty good. Maybe even a little more. Ooh, it's already like totally gluing. And then, okay, let's see if you can see this. I want to kind of push that in a little so it's at an angle, an inner angle, and then hold it down. So again, I glued it, like this piece was the fold, right? So I kind of glued that piece down. And then there's a little bit of glue under the tab, under the eye, and I kind of pressed down that glue down. Now these side tabs, see how they're kind of floppy, but you're not even going to see that. Like, please don't. Please don't try to glue those down, or I mean, you can, but oh my gosh. Enjoy the game, please. Don't be too concerned about that. From top view, you can't even tell that they're not perfectly flush, you know, with the edge, and it's fine. It's all good. Okay, so we got it. We got that piece on. Great, now I can just glue the legs on. There's 2 different kinds of legs for this. Like what happens, let's see if I can do this. So you can see that there's a slight angle on this edge. And that's intentional, of course. It'll kind of send your leg out a little bit. So, and the way you want it is, you want this. There's like a black kind of a box with a kind of a circle in there, and I'm going to glue this here. But see how this kind of juts this leg out to the back. You don't want it like this. I mean, this makes it go inward. I mean, technically you could do whatever you want, but you want this one so that it goes forward a little bit, right? Now, optimally, it works like that. But you could, you know, you could, I don't know, I guess I'll put glue for both of these. So I'm going to position it here. So this is the one that kind of goes, it's at an angle, so it's going to push my leg to the back. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to kind of glue it. And I'm going to check it. Let's see. The bottom edge is kind of flush with that bottom edge of the wedge. I'm just going to kind of hold it down with my tool to glue. But what I was trying to say is you want to glue your legs. I would recommend you glue them like this. This is the intended way, where like this one, the front leg goes forward and the back leg goes back a little. But you could always vary them a little bit if you want, like as if the legs are moving and not in a perfect position. And that looks kind of cool. But it wasn't as cool as I thought it would be, because I'm that kind of a modeler where I want all of my drones to be slightly unique. It looks like the legs are in different positions, and I thought, well, that's going to be great. It's okay. It's okay. It's not that great. I definitely recommend doing it the normal or whatever, the prescribed way first. Do that on a few of them, and then if you want to mix it up a leg, you can kind of tilt it a little bit so that it, well, that's a little too much, but slightly so that it's, I don't know, a little more, it grounds it a little more. Okay, that's good. Now, I would let this dry a little bit, but I'm just going to show it to you. So that's the chassis, right? And this is the crab. The crab only has 4 legs. Now, but not bad, not bad. Looks good. Let's see if it stands. Not bad. It's a little off. Interesting. So again, like, yeah, I could tilt that leg forward. It's fine. I'll just be more careful on my next one. Now, the mule is pretty much identical. Let me show you. The mule is identical to what we just folded. It's just a little longer in the body, and it has 6 legs, right? And one difference of the mule is that one leg has a flat edge, so it's just flat, and that's purposed for the center leg. It doesn't have to be, but that's what I intended, and it works pretty good. So like that way, let's see, I'm gonna add a little bit of glue here. So that way, like the front leg is kind of moving forward, the back leg is moving back, and then the center is just kind of centered. But this is it. So that's it. This is the mule, and this is the crab. Crab's 4 legs, and this faction is Bottled Lightning. But the build will be the same for all the factions. So I'll show you. This is for Ava's Broken Records. So let's see. She's got this triangle, warm pattern. And then I also have red and blue. So red and blue, here we go, red and blue. And that's our crab and mule chassis. Okay, let's talk about the basic tools I highly recommend. You're going to need 2 metal rulers, right? This one's like a 12-inch, and then I also have a larger one. This is like an 18-inch. You need the 18-inch one to tape to your mat or the edge of your table so that you can fold. I mean, unless you have like a perfectly squared edge on the edge of your table, I mean, that could work. But this works great for that, and you'll see that in my videos. I mean, technically this could be a 12-inch. This is an 18-inch, so I have an 18-inch and a 12-inch. And I highly recommend, usually they have cork or some kind of foam underneath. I recommend that so it doesn't slip as much, but you definitely want that. You're going to want a good regular pair of scissors, right? So, I mean, you hopefully already have a good pair of scissors, but this is just for general cutting. Then I highly recommend like a nicer, you don't have to have this, but you need some kind of smaller hobby scissors, like for little detail cuts and stuff like that. This is kind of like a little expensive Tamiya scissors that I really love. The number would be TAM 74124, and you can find this on Amazon. Highly recommend a number 2 X-Acto. Don't get the number 1. It's too flimsy, not heavy enough. You definitely want a number 2 X-Acto. You need some kind of metal stick to kind of press down like on little detail areas to glue while you're holding it to glue. And I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be, I mean, if you really want to go cheap, it could be the end of a paintbrush, right? So you could just hold it down. But I found these are Tamiya paint stirrers, and they're kind of cool. So that's what I use if you're curious, like what does Dave use? I use these paint stirrers, and the number for, they're Tamiya, and the number is 74017. Now, again, you don't have to use these, but they're like, you could actually use these to like stir your paint if you're like a miniature painter too, right? I haven't even done that yet, but and you get a pack of 2 of these. So technically I could use one to stir my paint and one just for this papercraft hobby. But these are great. But like I said, you could use any kind of metal stick or even a paint, like I even have files. Like before I got those paint stirrers, I was just, this is like a little hobby file. I was just using this to kind of hold stuff down. So anything you have that'll work. Definitely want to use Elmer's glue. There's different glues out there. And, you know, I don't care what you use. Elmer's glue works great. So, and it's cheap. So I just use this white glue. You kind of want some kind of tape. Any tape will do, but I use Scotch tape to tape my ruler to my mat, right? My cutting mat. So get some kind of tape, right? This works great. Or maybe it doesn't work so great. You can see on my ruler here that like there's kind of like this gross residue. Although I've had this ruler for aeons, right? So I don't know. But anyways, but I tape it down to my mat. So I tape it down to my mat, and then the mat kind of holds it, and then I just push it to the edge of my table, and then I can fold right here. And you definitely want another one. You want 2. Because you want one for like mini folds. Like this one stays here, and then you're gonna be like folding stuff up here too. So you want that. And you definitely need some kind of craft cutting mat. And so this is just, you know, whatever. Usually they're green. And I don't know, what's the size of this one? This says 10 by 12 and a half. So 10 by 12 and a half. If you have a bigger one, great. Whatever works. In the past, I would use, here, I got it right here, thick like card. Like this, but this isn't as good. I mean, if you're on a budget or whatever, yeah, you could use this stuff. But after a while, if you get too many cuts and you're cutting, your blade will fall into the ditches and it'll be bad. So I mean, these are only good for a little while. This is like off the back of a art board or like a palette board, right? But yeah, just, you know, these are handy. You could use these for all kinds of different things around the house. And then finally, what kind of cardstock do I use? Well, I don't use anything mega fancy. I just buy this because it's the easiest to get. So what is this? This is Nina Exact Index, right? What is it? 110 pound, right? I think I can get this. I get this on Amazon. I think I used to get this at like Sam's or Costco. But this serves me really well. It's a good, so you can see the numbers there. This works great, but it's, yeah, it says smooth finish, super heavyweight, great. This works fine, but you may have better ideas. You may know all about paper weights and cardstocks, and you may pick a better one. That's fine by me. But this is just what I use. And it's affordable. I believe you can get this on Amazon or just anywhere. So that's it for those tools. And happy building all of your papercraft projects.
Game Beard.
Play Junk Runners Skirmish. Junk Runners Skirmish is a fast-paced game of robotic warfare and thievery. After the AI purge, the living remnant of humanity pilot remote control loader drones in teams, to grab whatever they can salvage in our post-apocalyptic world. You pick the pilots and their abilities. You pick the drones and weaponry. Slot in any weapons into your units, including autocannons, sniper rifles, and missile pods, and get ready for battle. Bluff and outsmart your opponents. You'll have to roll dice though, and roll well, but don't worry, you can hack that. Capture the most junk. I mean, gear, technology, and supplies. Build and collect all the teams and terrain. It's all a free download away. Go to GameBeard.com to get the rules, the cards, and the papercraft models. You'll find everything you need, including links on how to build videos on YouTube. Even easy build models are available for you eager players that lack basic crafting skills. Junk Runners Skirmish. The end of the world could never be this much fun.